Hi, everyone. Welcome to Therapy Crime Scenes. My name is John Cordray. I'm a licensed professional counselor, and I talk about true crime through the lens of mental health. And today is an amazing story that I want to talk about. It's called the Missouri Miracle, and there's a reason for that. If you may not have ever heard of this story before, but it's an amazing story of rescue. Story of Shawn Hornbeck and Ben Ownby. They were rescued after years and days of captivity. But beyond the headlines, what do their story tell us about the human mind under unimaginable trauma? As a therapist, I'm here to unpack the mental health indicators like trauma, Stockholm Syndrome, and resilience that shape these boys' experiences. Join me as I explore how survival can coexist with pain and what it means to heal from the unthinkable. In 2002, 11-year-old Shawn Hornbeck was riding his bike in Missouri when he was abducted by Michael Develin, a pizza shop manager. 4 years later, in 2007, 13-year-old Ben Ownby was taken from a bus stop in Missouri by the same man. Both were found alive in Develin's apartment, a discovery dubbed the Missouri Miracle. As a counselor, I'm struck by the psychological toll of their captivity and the mental health indicators that reveal how they survived. Let's start with Shawn, who endured over 4 years of captivity. His primary mental health indicator is complex post-traumatic stress disorder, stemming from prolonged abuse and isolation. Unlike a single event, which is PTSD, this is CPTSD of complex trauma. It develops from repeated trauma, like the repeated physical and psychological abuse that Shawn endured. Shawn's reports included threats of death if he tried to escape. Shawn's parents shared on Oprah that he prayed nightly to reunite with them, yet he didn't flee despite opportunities like using a phone or interacting with neighbors. This points to Stockholm Syndrome. It's a survival mechanism where captives bond with their abuser to reduce the threat. Shawn assumed the name Shawn Develin and lived openly, even posting on his parents' foundation website, asking, "How long will you look for your son?" As a therapist, I see this as a dissociative coping strategy where Shawn's mind adapted to survive, aligning with Develin's control. In therapy, I would use trauma-focused cognitive behavioral therapy here to help Shawn process his trauma, rebuilding his sense of safety and autonomy. Ben Ownby's experience, though shorter, only 4 days, reveals different mental health indicators, primarily acute stress reaction. Taken at 13, Ben was in Develin's apartment when the police arrived, playing video games alongside Shawn. His brief captivity likely triggered fight or flight response, evident when he reportedly asked officers, "Are you going to take me home?" This shows a heightened state of alertness, common in acute trauma, where the body and mind prepare for danger. As a counselor, I would note Ben's quick return to his family likely mitigated long-term effects, but short-term trauma can still cause anxiety and hypervigilance. I would use grounding techniques like the 5-4-3-2-1 method to help Ben manage immediate distress and begin processing his fear. The rescue moment, as described by an FBI agent, saw Ben in a fight or flight state, ready to bolt until reassured he was safe. This aligns with acute stress, where the body reacts to perceived threat. Shawn, by contrast, was calmer, a sign of his prolonged adaptation to captivity. In therapy, I would tailor approaches to each boy's needs. Ben's acute stress might respond to brief interventions, while Shawn's CPTSD would require long-term work, like narrative therapy to reframe his story. Both boys showed remarkable resilience, another mental health indicator we cannot overlook. Both boys now are adults and pursuing other interests. They're living the best life that they can, despite the trauma that they experienced. Resilience does not erase trauma, but it does reflect the capacity to rebuild, to move on, to build a better life. Shawn's tattoo of faith and respect symbolizes his strength, while Ben's return to normalcy shows his ability to move forward. As a therapist, I would foster this resilience through strength-based therapy, helping them focus on their courage and support systems. They're using the pain and struggle that they went through to help others. The Missouri Miracle was not just about survival. It was about the mind's ability to endure and adapt under extreme duress. Shawn's prolonged trauma and Stockholm Syndrome highlight how the brain protects itself, while Ben's acute stress shows the immediate impact of fear. Their resilience reminds us that healing is possible, even after horror. As counselors, we can learn from their stories to better support survivors, emphasizing safety, trust, and hope. Shawn Hornbeck and Ben Ownby's story, The Missouri Miracle, shows us the depth of trauma and the heights of resilience. Their mental health indicators from CPTSD and acute stress reveal the mind's complex response to captivity. Wow, Missouri Miracle indeed. What do you think about Shawn and Ben's survival? That's incredible. They were both found and rescued, and their captor has been arrested. Oh, years later, they have their own lives. They're moving forward. They're not going to forget what happened, but they can grow from it and they can become better people from it and help others through their pain. And that's really what we all can do. You may not have been abducted. You may not have experienced complex trauma like Shawn or acute stress like Ben. But if you have some trauma in your life, if you have gone through difficulty in your life, you can rise above it. You can have resilience. It doesn't have to define who you are. Well, thank you for watching this series of Therapy Crime Scenes. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts about this case. And then let me know if there's another case you want me to analyze through the lens of mental health. Take care, everybody. See you next time. Bye.